Aubrey had 17 straight. Yeah, it was 17-0. Yeah, or she had 16 because they served that we won that. So okay, that was awesome. And she was just, yeah, she was on it. Yeah, I love it. The first game was close. The second game.
Grant, think about 5 years. It's hard to tell. Yeah.
You ready, Rod? Mr. Belk, you ready?
Ready, thank you.
Hey, Greenville City Council will come to order. Please call the roll.
Whitaker,
Here.
Brown, Ely, Godwin,
Here.
Norris,
Here.
Rogers,
Here.
Schmidt.
Here. Hey, if I could get everyone to stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Evening, everyone. All right, city council members, you were emailed the minutes for last meeting. Are there any additions or corrections? If not, they will stand approved as mailed. Approval of the financial report that was sent out. I'll take a motion. So moved. So moved by Mr. Schmidt to approve the current financial report. Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Approval of the agenda. I don't think there's anything to add or take off, correct?
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Schmidt to approve the agenda. Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Okay, moving along, public hearing. Anyone that would like to come to the podium, please state your name and address.
Hi, I'm Becca Cotterman, and I'm here for the Dark County United Way. It's okay to start?
Yeah.
Sorry, this is my first time doing
We need the address, right? We need your address.
207 East 4th Street in Greenville.
Okay.
The United Way office. Great. So I'm just here to tell you guys about 211. I'm the executive director. Again, my name is Becca Cotterman. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. So a few of you have it in front of you as the proposed contract, but I'm looking for you to consider $2,000 starting in 2023 and then a $1,000 proposal for the following 4 years. By all means, that's negotiable of however you see fit. Currently, the United Way is funding this program. So I also want to use the rest of my time to describe to you what 211 is. It is a hotline that it's a 24/7 hotline that you can call for resources in the community. It is vital to Darke County, and we're super excited that it's here. We've been working on it the past couple of years. With COVID, it kind of had a standstill, and it is now currently up and running. So that is the supplies that I put on each of your by your desks. So this is a card that you can use. It briefly talks about things that it supports like food, rent, utilities. But I just want to make sure you guys understand it's not just crisis help. It can be any resources in Darke County. So this is really great for families who move to Darke County that are looking for schools, doctors, hospitals, legal advice, courthouse, anything like that. All of these are resources. There's over 1,000 resources in this database. So it's not solely of United Way programming, which is why we felt like it was a need in Darke County. So we're just looking as the community for support. So I met with the county this morning. I'm approaching the city council. We're also looking for other ways to partner with fundraising for this program. On average, it costs $14,000 a year. That's what the proposed contract is currently for 3 years, and then we'll renegotiate after that. And then this is just a magnet gift for you guys. I know most of you have offices. If you could just kind of put it on your desk somewhere, we're just helping to spread the word. Are there any questions about the 211 program? I know it's kind of new. Or needed any clarification?
So are there other counties or other United Way locations that's done this?
Yes, we're actually a little behind the game. 211 has existed in like Shelby County and Miami County for several years. So we're just really excited that we now can be competitive and also have it in our county. Predominantly, United Ways do hold it, so it may not be in every county. I'm not certain that it's in Mercer because I know Mercer County doesn't have their own United Way, but I know like Greater Miami Valley, Miami County, Shelby County, our neighboring counties all have the 211 program. And then it's just as simple as you call it. Some people get tripped up because it's only the 3 numbers. So just like 911, you would call for emergencies, 211, you would call for referral needs. Any other questions people may have?
Researching this in the other counties, when they are calling 211, that's a central answering system, which may be in Cleveland or Columbus or wherever,
Yes.
that has each county's listing. Is that correct?
Yes, so we contract with Cleveland, United Way of Cleveland, but there's other resources there's other agencies that United Ways can choose to partner with. So we chose United Way of Cleveland, but there's other United Ways that have different 211 services, but it's all essentially the same. One thing I really like is it's a live operator. We're trying to break boundaries for people that are in crisis help or, need of something. We want them to actually be able to talk to a person, and that provides that. So you call, I think you have to press 4, and then you speak to an operator that is trained to know what you need. So for example, if you call for food, most likely you may need help with rent or other assistance if you need help with that one assistant. So they'll do a whole assessment with the individual that's calling to make sure all their needs are met.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions before I move on?
So, Mr. Mayor, is this a request that you're wanting?
Yeah, I talked to Becca. Well, we've talked several times. In fact, I helped out. It's been several years ago that we met initially to before Becca came on board United Way to try to get this going. And of course, there was promises of funding years ago that didn't come through. We're finally getting a place to get that. But yes, I told her to come and asked her to come and make the presentation. And I told her that maybe there's a possibility that we could get some money out of our community funds to help support this. That really kind of seems to me that it goes right back. It goes right to what the community funds are about, why we named it that. It is just to help the people in the area. So I think it's a great deal. We're really fortunate to be able to get it going now. So yeah, I'd like to see if we have it and it's available, that at least by, I don't know what's in there now. I think there's a few little bit of funds left from this year, but then they're looking at next year. So we can turn an application, do it next year, or even look at some of the funds this year and that we have left to start out with. And I don't know. So it's up to us, the council, and up to that committee that does the assignment for the community funds. So but yes, I hope we can. I mean, I think it's a great deal where the funds need to be.
Now, I remember when we were dispersing the community funds for this year, and I think we purposely left some in there. In case something, we didn't just distribute everything we had. So if there's anything in there, I'd like to maybe see that we, begin with this now and then continue with maybe what they're requiring from us for the next 4 years coming out of the community funds again. Because I think it's well defined what community funds are for. So it would be a good idea.
So, Mr. Law Director, do we just need a simple motion or do we need legislation draw?
Sort of the legislation, and I think historically through the community funds, it's been referred to the committee and the committee to make a recommendation. Trying to recall, I believe Mr. Schmidt perhaps was in charge of that. And it sounds like if the $2,000 is needed for 2023, we have some time to make sure that we get that at the beginning of the year.
Okay, so committee assignment is what your suggestion. Okay,
Yes.
so committee assignment, and that will go to the committee. Pardon? To the finance committee. How about due back on, let's see, when we do the second meeting in November 22nd. And the finance committee. It'd be Doug Schmidt, Jeff Whitaker, and Leon.
Thank you. And I left my business card with Mr. Whitaker, and Mayor Willman also has it. So if you need to reach out to me, just let me know.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks. Just to add to that, I think I talked a couple weeks ago about an employee that had some problems with electric bill payment and didn't know how to sign up for that. I think something like this would be great for the community. So we're doing the right thing.
Thanks, Becca.
Hey, next.
Andy Roberts, 527 Markwood Avenue. Came before you several months ago on behalf of Lifewise Academy, and I'm before you again on their behalf. Lifewise Academy is a release time religious instruction program focused on Bible-based character. So Lifewise Academy is based out of Trinity Wesleyan Church, right off of the property of the school. And on November 6th, we're going to be having a pancake supper. And I would like to give a public notice to the public and to our city council and elected officials concerning this. November 6th, between 4 and 7, the supper will take place at First Assembly of God, 7219 State Road 118 here in Greenville. There will be a silent auction. Adults are $10 a piece, children under 6 and under are $3, and then a family max is $40. If you would like tickets, they are available at Bread of Life bookstore. You can contact myself at 567-201-6631, or go on Lifewise Economy Greenville on Facebook, and they can direct you on how to get tickets. Again, that will be on November 6th between 4 and 7. Do you have any questions for me?
I'm just glad I'm not the only one that has pancakes for dinner.
And let's say you don't like pancakes, but, if you still like to donate toward the cause, it's a very good cause. As of right now, they have over 30 students. It's growing every week, it seems to be. So they're very pleased at the progress that they're making. And it's a great honor to serve on this board with them. So. Okay, any questions for me?
I understand there's 32 students enrolled right now in the Lifewise Academy. Fourth graders, right?
Yes, and only fourth grade as of right now. So we have a very good teacher, and the building is still being built completely, completed. We're hoping that by January it'll be done. Right now, Trinity Westland, we're using one of the side buildings there for the classes, and it's working pretty well. So we're pretty pleased. So this is just a fundraiser to help with the finances. A lot of what we do is from the generosity of our people here in Greenville. And I know it's taken off. I think we pretty much got it in every school in Darke County, I believe, except for 2, if I'm right. So Lifeways Academy is moving. Any more questions?
All right, thank you. All right, anyone else for public hearing? All right, we will move on to administrative reports. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, President. Council, I got a few just kind of announcements. So Halloween's here almost. So this Saturday, Saturday, what's the 22nd? I forgot. Saturday. That's Saturday. So that's at the old Marsh parking lot. I think, you know for sure. Now I don't know. But there's a trunk or treat. That's where we used to always have it. So I'm not sure where it's at. But maybe I got that. I'll look for it here in a minute. But the trunk or treat is then they come up this Saturday. It's like
I think it's at
3 p.m.
I think it's at the fair, if I remember it.
Oh, fairground.
Yeah,
You're
fairground.
right. I did see
Yep.
that. All right, thanks. I forgot. Anyway, so that's coming up this Saturday, 3 p.m. So it's turned out to be a pretty big deal. They have quite a few people involved and a lot of kids get treats. And they have a contest for the best decorated trunk. So it's kind of a neat thing. It's been going about 3 or 4 years now. So it'll be fun. It's a good place to be. Beggars Night is 27th for parade. Lineup starts at 6:30, parade's at 7. And trick or treat for the city of Greenville is the 30th from 6 to 8 p.m. And the thing that I was fortunate enough to go to the Brother's home. We got a couple of calls and they were a lot of people seem to be a little confused on what's been happening since we talked about taking over transit and then the CAP program stopped busing and people were getting confused a little bit about it. So I asked Kara out the home to maybe help setting up a meeting and Aaron Keys, our transit director, and Michelle Casada, sort of and I went out to their home and talked to the residents and let them know how things work with us and what our plans are. And then, and of course, any of the funding that we think that the CAP used to get, we're going to, and Aaron's writing up a grant proposal to try to see if we can get some of those funds. Other than that, all we can do is, as we originally started out why Greenville's taken over the transit is to make things better. So the plan is to put a few more drivers on and during the day shift and be able to help people as much as we can. Be nice. We have had a meeting with the county and they're pretty withholding of the funds, but maybe down the road, maybe they'll help us in getting donating or not donating, but putting funds into it to help get matching funds through the grant program we normally already get. So other than that, and the reason I really wanted to bring it up was that when we were out there, I just want you guys to know about our transit and our drivers. To those people out there that ride the buses, our drivers are like rock stars. So they just cannot even come close to stopping to tell us about their experiences with our drivers and how much they help them out. And I just want to make sure we, I told you about it a little bit more and give them kudos for for the work that they do. They help, they do over and above anything that's requested of them to take care of the people that ride the bus and the transit. So
Good to hear.
yeah, it's a pretty cool deal. So as, when they went on and on, it's like, you had to bring this up. So other than bringing them in, I'm not sure they would come, but they're special people that do that, and we certainly appreciate it. So with that, I'll pass. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Safety Service Director, Mr. Ryan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just kind of give everyone some updates on our current projects. Our North Ohio Street project, we awarded to Greenville Construction in the process of getting all the contracts signed. Once that's complete, we'll get a scope of work, and we'll have some pre-construction meetings and have a better timeline of when that construction will officially start and finish. A lot of it is going to be dependent on material and supply chains, unfortunately, but we plan to have it completed by August of 2023. And as I've said in the past, it'll be finishing the bike trail and infrastructure with a water line and a new traffic light at Broadway, or not Broadway, I'm sorry, Ohio Street and Martin Street. Our salt barn at the street department is under construction right now. They're supposed to pour all the slabs later this week. We have some asphalt work to do, and then November 1, Clear Span will come up in and put the top structure on, and then we can get that project buttoned up. Our Yolo Park restrooms are currently with Garmin Miller in the design phase. So as soon as we get through that, and then I'll come back to council on sending that out for bid, so we can, the goal on the timeline on that is to have them open by Memorial Day of 2023. That way we can start using them next summer. A water transmission line, we had bid opening a couple weeks ago, so we've been going through the bids and putting our finances to it and seeing what portion we could afford. And so I'll have legislation at next council meeting to award to Greenville Construction. And we're planning on doing our base bid, which is the main 24-inch water line all the way into town, and then alternate number 2, which is a 12-inch water main that runs down West Main Street. The portion that we won't be doing is alternate 3, which is connecting Main Street to 4th Street down Vine. We just thought it was going to put us in too much of a financial burden to try to take on that much of a project. So we're going to push that out. We've kind of discussed with our engineers and Scott Wilson, our interim water superintendent. It currently has a 10-inch line. They haven't had a lot of problems with it recently. So we think that we can get some more years out of that before we do it. So we're going to push that portion of it out is the plan that I'll have next council meeting. Our lead service line project, we're waiting on parts again. We have a part that is 21 weeks out right now. So that's the holdup. So then that'll finish up. So it'd be phase 1. Contingencies on, there's another $100,000 there to replace lead service line. And then our lead service line identification grant that we received, that was $50,000. We're in the process of identifying those throughout the city. The EPA is currently sending out information that they're going to mandate that you have all of your lead lines identified by 2025. So this grant will get us a really good jump start, and we're going to be able to identify 900 services. So the only way to do it is to back down to the line and get eyes on it and see actually what the service is there. So that project is currently underway. The Christmas lights, the street department's going to get ready to start those next week. And we will be having another large Christmas tree down at Annie Oakley Park again this year. The plan is to set that tree on November 14th. Again, it's a big thanks to Eric Fee and Dick Brown and Fitzwaters and Jay Crane, and a lot of people make that happen with zero expense to the city. So everybody seemed to enjoy it last year, and as the street department always does, they're going to make it bigger and better. The mayor and I have been working, more the mayor, but I'm a sidekick on this, on the Veterans Day Parade. So the Veterans Day Parade will be November 11th. we've been working with Stark County Veterans Services. So they're going to expand on the parade a little bit and try to make it a little bigger than in the past. I think as of the meeting we had this week with them, they were up to about 20 units. Fire department's gonna bring the ladder truck out and get the flag out and have a ceremony at the courthouse. That's gonna start at 10:45 at the courthouse. We'll do the ceremony and then the parade will start at 11:11.
Where would that,
It'll start at the old Marsh building, and then go out Hamilton, down Martin, down Broadway to the circle, and then disband kind of in front of the fire department on around on Walnut. We were contacted by the Boy Scouts, so they're wanting to get their Boy Scout Jamboree going again. So they're gonna start filling out paperwork. We're looking at the first or second weekend in October of 2023. So we're gonna start working on that. And they're gonna try to bring it back to the way it was as far as size goes and the number of scouts they have here. And that's always a good thing to get them involved out in the park area. Water tower, we are currently on the list for our EPA 0% interest loan on that. We should find out here in the next couple of weeks if we made that final cut. I don't see any reason why we won't. And then we'll start the design phase of that to get that moving down the road. And last but not least, the big item for me for tonight, and I might have to ask Chief Thompson to come up here and do a little assistance. So we've been talking about a new fire truck. So we currently have a 1972 Mack and we have a 1997 pumper truck that needs to be replaced. The 97 pumper truck we're the third owner. It was purchased used back in 07, 08 timeframe. We've had a lot of issues with it lately. This has kind of been in the works with Chief Thompson for years. We put together a proposal back in 2018 and it didn't work out. So he started to put together a proposal for next year for a CIP submission in 2023 for this new truck. And as we started to put it together and build it out and talk to manufacturers, the manufacturer we were going with, they were like, well, there's going to be a 6% increase come October 31st. So if you want to do anything, I would suggest, if you plan on moving forward with it, I would suggest you guys do it now to save 6%. So in 2018, when we originally built the truck, it was $690,000. In 2022, when we're building it now, it's pushing $1.2 million. They just had an increase of 6% back in February. They're getting ready to do another 6% coming up here at the end of October. And then even if you get the truck ordered, it's 31 months before we see a truck on the ground. So my question for council, I guess, is, are we interested in pursuing this truck? If so, we would need to have a special meeting to get legislation together to be able to sign the contract. Currently, and this is worst case scenario, if you would finance 1.2 million over 10 years, 4.81 interest rate, your payments would be $154,008.18 for the next 10 years. The current ladder truck, our next payment is, our last 10th payment is 2023, which is around $111,000.
That's to replace the Mack truck. We call it the Coke truck or whatever it is with the sliding doors.
Yeah.
That's really hard to drive and shift. You basically, yeah, you
Russ, could I ask you to come to the podium? So everyone can hear you that's watching on TV or internet. So what was that question again?
I can speak for that truck. I drove that truck and I know that when you take off, you know, you got to hit the gears right. And if it don't, you got to basically stop and start all over again.
Correct. And we still have those same issues today. They're probably even worse now because the younger generation doesn't know how to drive a manual in the first place. So we're trying to teach them how to drive a really hard manual. It's even worse. Like I said, we just put 2,600 in a new clutch, here in just last couple of weeks. We've been having issues with, and it finally came time we had to just replace the clutch.
Basically,
So-
a command vehicle is what you're getting, or
So, yeah, so basically, so the 97 Pierce is a pumper. It carries water. Its primary purposes are it can go anywhere, but primarily it's the second piece on the two-piece company that goes on structure fires in the city for the on-duty crew. And it's also the primary apparatus for all car accidents and vehicle fires. And then 161, which is what you're talking about, the coke truck, carries basically a toolbox. It has no water. It carries all the technical rescue and advanced equipment. And it also serves as our air unit for refilling bottles in the fire ground. So what we've done is take in both apparatus, the capabilities of both, combine them into this one vehicle. And then another effort to save money, because if we bought two vehicles separately, we would spend we'd be asking for another $400,000 at least. So we're actually going to reduce our fleet by doing this, which not only saves the capital that we need for the purchase, we'll have less insurance, less maintenance, because we'll be one apparatus shorter than what we current fleet.
So talking about the other truck, we have one payment left, correct? Or 23?
Right, 23.
So if we, or maybe we just need to send this to committee if we want to do it or whatever, but if we would move forward with this, then when would the first payment be due approximately?
So we can gear it. We have about 4 different options right now. We're looking at, if we can afford it, the best option is to pay the first payment for this new truck in 2023 as well, and then you just have 10 equal payments of that.
Mhm.
Other options are you can pay the interest for the first couple years until you get delivery and then start paying, but you pay 2 years of interest at $60,000 a year, and then you still have 10 payments left at basically $150,000.
They're wanting you to make payments before.
Yeah.
Before we even.
I mean, you don't have to. So I guess here's another thing, once you order, and so if we would sign the contract, we have 15 days to secure funding. And if we secure that funding, which we would in 15 days, then you get another $68,000 off of the purchase because you're paying for it on the front end. And then the 6% interest is another $72,000. Your one payment in savings by moving quicker.
If I understood you right, Ryan, we have to let them know or place the order by the end of this month.
That's correct. We have to sign the contract, but it's
So we wouldn't really have time to do a finance committee meeting.
No, and I would feel that would be more of a committee of the whole myself, because you're gonna take it and everyone else is need to share their input as well. So if that's the route you want to go. Yeah, I would say committee of the whole.
Yeah, so, looking at the calendar, what's everyone's thoughts on meeting maybe like next Tuesday? Have a committee as a whole?
That would be the 7th, right?
Yeah. Does anyone know?
I think you just want to schedule a special meeting.
A special meeting, that's what I'm.
Because if you do a committee of the whole, you're gonna have a committee recommendation that's still gonna have to go to council for legislation.
Right,
And so if you just schedule it as a special meeting to consider legislation for the fire truck, doesn't mean that you have to then pass it or accept it, but it just prompts what you're gonna be considering. And if we need to pass legislation, then we can.
so, let me reach out to Dolores and, Mr. Brown and see if they're available for the 25th, and then I'll send a notice out to everyone. Is that
That'd be the 24th, right?
next 25th, yeah, next Tuesday is 25th. So would everyone be available?
I would be.
I think so.
What time?
We just do same 7:30 meeting. Clarence, are you good?
Yes.
You're good? All right. So before we set it, let me reach out to, because we need at least 6 here.
Right.
To pass legislation if we do decide to do it. And then I'll let Jessica know. Jessica can send out the notice. Any other questions for Russ on the truck? For Ryan?
And Chief, that'll be replacing 2 trucks then? Right,
Correct, 97 Pearson, the 74 Mac.
the 74, okay.
Russ, would you be available to come too in case there's,
Yes, sir.
okay.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so tentatively the 25th. And we'll let everyone know.
Thanks.
All right. Still you.
I pass.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Law Director, Mike Reeman.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. Just the one thing, remind people that we do, because we're missing 2 people, we don't have enough to suspend the rules tonight. So for the legislation, it will be the first reading only. Other than that, I'll entertain any questions anyone has.
If we do have this special next week, this legislation that's on here tonight, would we be able to add those 2 pieces only with that, or is that?
Yeah, we can. We just need to make sure that the notice is specific to what we're considering at the special meeting. And so in theory, we could add that as well.
Well, if there's something on there that's pressing, then
Yeah, and I don't think with either of these 2 pieces, there was anything that had to be done, which is why we went forward tonight anyway.
very good.
Thank you. City Auditor, Roxanne.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. Just wanted to let you know, we're moving along with the final budget. We'll probably be meeting with all our department heads next month. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it in December. It may be the first meeting in January,
Okay.
just to let you know, Doug, that we'll try to get with you
Right.
in December for
All
sure.
right,
So,
sounds good.
and with that, I pass.
All right, thank you. Next on the list here is committee reports. We have one from the Utility Committee.
Honorable members of council, the Utilities Committee hereby submits our report. The Utilities Committee met on September 14th, 2022, and on October 6th, 2022, in the council chambers to discuss the water billing and water quality for Olwines Trailer Park located at 6057 Severing Warner Road, Greenville, Ohio, Fairview Trailer Court located at 1324 Schweitzer Street, Greenville, Ohio, and Colonial Trailer Park located at 5438 State Route 49 South, Greenville, Ohio. Olwines Trailer Park has issues with 2 wells. To access the individual trailer meters that are located under each trailer, city employees must remove the skirting to turn the meter on and off. They must crawl through animal feces, electrical, and leaking sewer lines, which creates a hazard. Recommendation is to have Olwines Trailer Park located at 6085 Sebring Warner Road, Greenville, Ohio, abandon the 2 wells that are located on the property and install an 8-inch master meter plus an ASSE 1015 backflow assembly device. We recommend to charge the rate of a 1.5-inch water and sewer line to the owner of Olwines Trailer Park. Fairview Trailer Park located at 1324 Schweitzer Street, Greenville, Ohio, deals with the issue of individual curb stops for trailers. They are made of plastic and prone to break. Meter pits are located underneath the trailers. City employees must remove the skirting to turn the meter on and off. They must crawl through animal feces, electrical, and leaking sewer lines, which creates a hazard. Recommendation is to have Fairview Trailer Park install 4-inch master meter plus an ASSE 1015 backflow assembly device. We recommend to charge the rate of a 1.5-inch water and sewer line to the owner of Fairview Trailer Park. Colonial Trailer Park located at 5438 State Route 49 South, Greenville, Ohio, does not have any curb stops. All shutoffs are located under trailers. City employees must remove the skirting to turn the meter on and off. They must crawl through animal feces, electrical, and leaking sewer lines, which creates a hazard. Recommendation is to abandon the 2 to 3 wells located on the property and install an 8-inch meter plus an ASSE 1015 backflow assembly. We recommend to charge the rate of a 1.5-inch water and sewer line to the owner of Colonial Trailer Park. Respectfully submitted, Committee on Utilities, Clarence Godwin, Chairman, Chris Norris, Vice Chairman, and Brian Brown, Member.
Move to accept the committee's report.
I move to accept the committee's report. Discussion.
Yeah, the former water superintendent was bringing up a lot of issues and I wanted him, he gave a book to everybody at the first meeting and I wanted him to give it to everybody that was on council. So I hope everybody's had a chance to read that and had the pictures of the wells and the breaks and stuff they've had out there. They do have the issues like the committee, or the report said, getting underneath the trailers. I used to own the trailer at Owens, and I know if you touch that skirting in the wintertime, it gets brittle and it breaks, and then the city's got to have to, pay to fix it, and that's where most of the shutoffs are at. And it was Gary's recommendation of the master meters and the backflow preventers be put in at these locations. To try to correct the problems that we have of trying to get underneath the trailers. And some of the trailer parks, the city employee will meet the maintenance guy out there. If they turn the water off, then the homeowner gets home, then they just go back underneath the trailer and turn the water back on without the city knowing about it until they see the meter moving.
Any other discussion? We have enough to accept it, or is
Yeah, you've got a quorum to accept the report, and then from there, I'd draft legislation. Eventually, we'll need it to change the billing rates, but in theory, that doesn't need to be done right now. It can be done as it progresses.
any other discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yeah,
Norris.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes. Okay, moving on to ordinance and resolutions. Again, we can only do the first reading on each, so. Ordinance number 1 is a supplemental ordinance.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Greenville, state of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2022. This supplemental ordinance allows for appropriations in the general fund, swimming pool maintenance and operating fund, public transportation fund, and enforcement and education fund, and the sum as follows. Insurance municipal building in the amount of $2,400. These funds are needed due to increased insurance costs for 2022. Sidewalk program, light poles / street utilities in the amount of $15,295. These funds are needed for engineering services for the sidewalk program. Office supplies, swimming pool in the amount of $300. These funds are needed due to increased insurance costs for 2022. Insurance public transportation in the amount of $800. These funds are needed due to the increased insurance costs for 2022. New equipment, enforcement and education in the amount of $7,075. These funds are needed to replace a watch guard camera for the police department.
Move to suspend the rules, give this ordinance a second. Oh, we can't suspend.
Let's try going to try.
All right, so that was the first reading. For the next meeting, we'll do the second, third if we have enough. Moving on to the second, is a resolution authorizing safety service director to enter into a contract with sidewalk projection phase 1.
A resolution authorizing the safety service director to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering for professional services related to phase 1 sidewalk project. This resolution authorizes the safety service director to enter into a contract with Choice One Engineering for the rendering of professional services in 2022 relating to the sidewalk project phase 1.
Okay. That completes the ordinance's resolution. Moving on, we have no new business, no old business. Council representing outside committees, the Greenville Union Cemetery Board.
I think that's Brownie, isn't it?
Is it Brown? Okay.
I'm actually on
We are in.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to report right now. We should have another meeting coming up.
Okay. And with that said, so I need to schedule a joint meeting with the Union Cemetery Board and Council to elect the new officials for 2023. So I'd like to do that the first meeting in November, and we just do it a half hour early, so we'll be here at 7. Can you notify the trustees? Okay, communications.
You received the CIC minutes from July 27th, 2022, the monthly report of September from the Transit Department, and the third quarter report from the Fire Department.
Call of council.
Whitaker,
Pass tonight.
Godwin,
I just want to thank everybody for coming up tonight and stay warm. And with that, I'll pass.
Norris,
We appreciate everybody who had input this evening and brought us the information. I'm going to jump council president a little bit just because of his daughter. Congratulations to the 8th grade Lady Wave team for taking the tournament round tonight. They'll be in the championship round tomorrow night. Lady Wave varsity will be in Centerville tomorrow night for the first round of tournaments for the Ohio High School Athletic Association. So some good things happening through the schools there. With that, I'll pass.
Rogers,
I'm going to pass tonight.
Schmidt,
Just real quick, I talked to Chief Roberts just for a moment before the meeting tonight, but I just wanted to publicly thank a couple members of your staff and everyone else that I had unfortunately had an opportunity to deal with here recently, but professional all the way. I mean, they did a bang up job and I know you hear plenty of bad things. So it's time that you guys get applauded for doing some good stuff. So we do appreciate you. And with that, I'll pass.
President Baumgartner.
Yeah, just a couple things. So I look out of here, I see several department heads here, and just one thing, I think it shows you care and want to be here, and I appreciate whenever I see a department head out there, so thank you. And yeah, I didn't have this wrote down, but yeah, Chief Roberts, yeah, just awesome job. Just, you hate to see the outcome, but eventually that'll change. The tide will roll. And then just big thanks to, I know Ryan said it, but I'll say it again. Big thanks to everyone involved in getting that Christmas tree. I mean, for Jay Crane to come up here and set that, if it was a company, it would probably be $3,000 or $4,000. They're doing it all on their own. The fees, just everyone, Fitzwaters, everyone that's donated time to help do this, it's a big deal. So if you see one of them companies, tell them thanks, because it means a lot to them. And with that, I pass.
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn, call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned. Thanks, everyone.